Oh yeah, this week has been pretty good so far. Pretty good. Lot of stuff that just got revealed. Query of the Taken Mind, being the one behind the Dreaming City. We've got, new corrupted versions of everything to go through. A lot of bounties I still need to go through. So it looks like we may have a clear path to get rid of this endless night. But until then, I was going to speak with Ikora because that's the next part of this quest. And this is part 2 of the first impressions of week 6 because I think this might be running a little longer than usual. And I just wanted to make sure that the video itself wasn't like ridiculously long in length like my full stream uploads were. Alright. I swear if it's just talk to this person then talk back with Mithrax, that's going to be disappointing. I'll just pad this video out then.
Guardian, be vigilant. We must consider our discovery of Savathun to be part of her plan. Perhaps she means to sow fear and suspicion among us. I won't allow her to drive us apart. When the time comes, I'll put a spear of light through the Witch Queen's heart myself.
I'm counting on that, Bungie.
For now, I'm overturning all hidden records and full archival access to Osiris, but no one else. Lakshmi claims the Vanguard suffers from a lack of transparency. If she had access to our records, she'd cherry-pick whatever details were necessary to ground her prophecies. I need people I can trust to be objective. Some of our records on Savathun are fabricated truths, I'm sure. But in those lies are the strategies she used to topple the Dreaming City. History won't be repeating itself here.
Haha.
Continue your splicer training with Mithrax. Use it to root Savathun's minions out. We'll reassess the situation when we've located our target.
Ikora's voice is grim as she explains that Queria's presence in the Vex network means that Savathun, the Witch Queen, is behind the Endless Night. When the time comes, I'll put a spear of light through the Witch Queen's heart myself, she tells you. For now, I'm turning over all hidden records and full archival access to our Osiris, but no one else. Continue the training with Mithrax, she says. Use it to root out Savathun. We reassess the situation and located our target. Okay. New step. Speak with Mithrax through the splice. Don't tell me.
We stand behind you.
Don't tell me.
We'll crush these would-be saviors together, Guardian.
It was literally 2 cutscenes, and this part 2 is only going to be like 10 minutes long of all new content. I guess that means I'll just have to pad out the rest of it with all these bounties. Yeah, looks like I'm going to do some padding this episode. No, I'll just talk about life, I guess. Defeated combatants may now drop corrupted key codes. Alright. Let me just make another one of those, just in case. But I'm willing to bet Lakshmi's going to say something in either holographic format or in her radio wave format. We shall see. Yep, speak of the devil. Alright, Lakshmi, spread your lies.
People of the Lost City, I come to you with an emergency announcement. One that Vanguard leadership wishes to keep from you. Future War Court has learned from Guardian sources that the Endless Night is the work of the Hive God of Deceit, Savathun. This is a grave development, but we cannot give in to despair. Instead, let it propel us to action. We must demand accountability from Vanguard leadership. We cannot allow Zavala and Ikora Ray to sell our city to the fallen White.
Uh-oh.
Enough! This is Ikora Ray. I will not stand by while this hateful rhetoric goes unchallenged. I understand it's hard to put the violence of the past behind us.
That was a total
But
shift.
the Vanguard's responsibility is to preserve a just peace. Not for some, but for all. Lakshmi would have you live in fear. Fear of the Elixni. Fear of the future. But I propose something much stronger. faith. Faith that bravery is not just a human quality. Faith that we are stronger together. Faith that the Vanguard and our Elixni allies will break the Vex hold on our city. And we'll do it united, as one, for the good of all.
Ikora is mad. There is going to be a massive confrontation with Lakshmi and Ikora later this season. It's going to get ugly, and I want popcorn for it.
Quria lurks at the center of this false night. All threads leading to it are dark and thick, covered in black oil. Your splicer mastery has been growing. The great machine is unknowable. But I believe it acts with purpose. Just as we must act with purpose now. To find a way to reach Quria and end it. Sacred splicers must see the invisible machinery at work around us. To understand its beauty and flaws. And our place within it. I think of my light as a torch, a beacon. Yours, though, I see as a weapon. I say this with respect. From what I know of the great machine, it would not create a weapon without needing to use it. Quria will be your target. Be ready, for there is no doubt it is.
Yeah. The force at the center of the Vex network has a name, Quiria. Mithrax pledges to use his abilities as a sacred splicer to search through the Vex domain until he finds its lair. He tells you he imagines his light as a beacon, something to use to guide others through the darkness of the world. He believes you were given the light to use as a weapon, and Quiria is the target. Not the only target, pal. So is that it for the season? Alright, yep, that's enough for season 6. That was 7.5 minutes. I thought it was going to go longer than that. But I do these blinds, so how was I supposed to know? Alright, well, may as well just hop right to it, back to override. Get this over with. Overload and barrier. Fusion rifle. Alright, I don't really have any way of getting through barriers or overloads. You know, what if I just didn't care? I mean, there was like one for the swords, right? Or was that last season? No, that was last season, or one of the previous ones where swords could go through stuff. And I don't even have that. So yeah. Let me just check. More recovery, intellect, and strength, but less resilience, which I kind of want resilience more than recovery. Yeah. So yeah, let's get some Crustisia kills. Let's get this going. And you know what? Since we're here, if I'm just going to be grinding through stuff, let me talk to you about my weekends.
Fighting alongside Elixni to break Savathun's hold over the Vex. It's getting hard to keep track of whose side we're on.
There we go. So, while I'm here, grinding away, why don't I tell you about how things went for my Vaulted Glass run. My first ever Vaulted Glass run in this entire game. Because I never did play the Destiny 1. I don't have a PlayStation 4 or Xbox Series X or Xbox One or whatever. Why does Xbox have to name their games so screwy? All I've ever really had was a PC after the PS3, Xbox 360 era of gaming. And it's not that I wouldn't have gotten any of the other consoles, it's just I don't have the time for it, man. Canvas and override, perfect. So Vault of Glass was definitely, you know, I understand that it's the very first raid that Destiny had ever made. And while playing through it, I can tell you right now, it's definitely the easiest of all the raids. They did apparently change some things from what I've read about how exactly it played out, namely with oracles and stuff. And that is a discussion for people who actually know the original raid compared to the new one, more so than me. So, Saturday night, I decide, you know what, let me just do it. I'd like to meet each raid once because story-wise, there's some interesting stuff that happens. They're really cool to go through once, but with someone with some mild anxiety issues, grinding them consistently would be a bit much, try to get a single exotic. So I just run it once, and if I get the exotic, which is only like a 3% chance or so, I live it. If not, that's fine. Didn't mean to do that. So the LFG group I found, apparently they were running one of their buddies through the raid for the first time ever. And it was a trial, to say the least, with that one buddy. But it starts off the raid pretty easy. It's as simple as, there we go. It's pretty much a damage check at the very beginning. There's no darkness that will wipe you. All you gotta do is stand near a couple confluxes and make sure that they are not touched by the Vex. As soon as the Vex hit them, they reset it, and you gotta, like, do the whole thing over again. Which isn't so bad. And that part was incredibly easy. And the next field encounter involved darkness does the exact same thing. It has you defending confluxes against Vex. And that was, that's when the first funny thing happened that raid. So, for some reason, the person who was trying to get, carry through this, the friend of the friend, they died in that encounter where you have to defend one conflux, then two conflux, then three confluxes against the Vex. And he died, and while someone was trying to res them, they died, and when someone tried resing them, they died. So he had three Guardians down right at the tail end, and darkness is encroaching upon everyone. We manage at the very last second, literally at 0 seconds remaining, passing that first try. But before that happened, someone left. They left the Discord, they left the game. Either their computer crashed or, in my opinion, they just rage quitted. And it was hilarious thinking that we managed to get through this. So now this poor guy has to go through all of LFG to do that. Again, with another group, who knows how successful he'll be. Oh, that was funny. But then we had to wait for another fifth person. And then the next encounter that comes across the oracles, that took about 2 or 3 tries because it's one of those things where it's not very apparent at first what you're supposed to do. And, with any LFG group, you're going to have that moment of, like, got to go through this encounter, get in the groove, everything. And once everyone's in that groove, you should be able to go through next to no problem. So that section was alright. Took a few tries to get through the Oracle, especially when someone, hits the wrong one. Then after that, it's the Templar fight. The Templar fight went alright. The next section after that was the what is it? The Minotaur maze. No, it wasn't the Minotaur maze. It was the Gorgon maze. That's what it is. That took 3 tries because people kept getting lost, and everyone was like, where are we supposed to go for all this? But we did have someone there who actually knew how to run through the area, so we just followed them. It was alright. And then we actually get to the section before the Atheon fight. And that took a couple tries because the person who was trying to be led through the dungeon the entire time was slightly underleveled at this point. And they just kept dying. And it was pretty much like, all right, so maybe we shouldn't have this person be DPS, but oh man, hack, please, hack.
Vortex gathers energy.
But eventually we did get through that. And then we get to the Atheon fight. And let me tell you, if you are not on point for that encounter, you are going to have a miserable time. And that took way longer than it ever needed to. Especially since the new guy who was in there, I mean, goodness knows that I was as newbie as this person at one point, right? But still, there's a section at the very beginning where a number of hydras are floating above. Or are these? Yeah, harpies, my mistake. Harpies are floating above. And there's a particular group of them where if you destroy them all, they just respawn. But if you leave one alive, then it's just one floating around on either side. This new person decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to kill them all constantly. And no one called him out on it because, quite frankly, we were in the middle of trying not to get horribly smushed again and again by Atheon. And the DPS bases took some time getting used to. Especially since people would do the cleanse before. So trying to explain how to run that encounter at first, kind of tricky. Not gonna lie, it's not very straightforward what you mean by cleansing, go through the gate, make sure you cleanse again. Like trying to get the timings on all that was a little rough. And it was a little infuriating at times. But after, I want to say, 7 separate attempts, we finally managed to do it. Finally got Atheon down, run over. No one got vexed at the class, which is perfectly fine. We're all saying GG, we're all doing good. And that was about 4 hours of running through a raid. And I'd say, of all the raids in the game, I like ranking in my head, like, okay, which one is the best, which one is the worst. Vault of Glass, it's probably second best in my opinion. At least in terms of how I enjoyed it. Because it's relatively easy and simple, but there's also, you gotta make sure that everyone on the last point is on point. But also it may be a little too simple. Like Deepstone Crypt is my personal favorite, bar none. I even like Crown of Sorrows, which I think is bumped down to 3rd place overall. I've done Last Wish, and Last Wish is a bit too long in my opinion.
My visions show that an invasion of the last city is imminent. We must learn the secrets of this network before it arrives.
Queria. It's Queria. We already know this. I'm just going to run the date stream. Or not. That's fine. So yeah, Vault of Glass, second favorite. Deepstone Crypt's my favorite of all, just because even... I know some people really love the difficult raids, but you know what was a difficult raid? Scourge of the Past. No, not Scourge of the Past. No, that was average difficulty in terms of raid. The most difficult one was Spire to the Stars. Sorry, they both begin with S. And the reason why Spire to the Stars was so difficult was because the mechanics of it were a little difficult to get used to. And they were also incredibly glitchy to get through. Yep.
This must be the subjugated mind. Crush this poor machine so we can leave this hideous place.
And what I think makes Deepstone Crypt better than the Vault of Glass, solely the atmosphere, environment, the other crazy stuff, because that is the one where, oh, you go into the Deepstone Crypt, and then all of a sudden you're in space. And it is amazing, and what happens is just a gigantic whoa moment. Whereas the Vault of Glass, you basically stay in 2 spots for the most part. That's the vast majority of it. And it's certainly a good-looking raid, especially with, you know, the ending area being in past future and all that. I do have to forget a little bit of it because, you know, it was the absolute very first raid that had ever been done in Destiny. Okay. Mind teleporting? Good. Oh, something dropped. Hello. Yeah. Then, mechanics-wise, it's relatively easy and straightforward to understand what's going on in both Deepstone Crypt and in the Vault of Glass. Come on, die. There we go.
Enjoy your victory, but remain vigilant. The Vex are but a part of Savathun's final plan.
Witch Queen is dangerous, but she is no match for the great machine.
You're right, Splicer. The light is the key to victory.
New voice lines. Gotta love it. Corrupted Access. Enter the Nexus and defeat the oppressive mind. I have acquired the Corrupted Access Splicer Gauntlet upgrade from Mithrax in the House of Light. Corrupted Access upgrade acquired. Defeating combatants may now drop corrupted key codes needed to unlock Corrupted Conflux chest found at the end of the Corrupted Expunge missions. Corrupted Conflux chest contains seasonal awards. Upgraded, give out more and better gear. Yeah, blah blah. Good to know. Dismantle that. Dismantle that. Grid skipper pulse rifle slide. Nah. As for this, whispering stab. Nah. Sure. One more for the evening. Just so I get that pinnacle gear. Also, how many of these have I completed? Literally one. Kinetic weapon. Finishes without dying. Oof. That's going to be risky. But yeah. So yeah, Vault of Glass was tons of fun. I don't normally do raids again. Probably no exception for this one, just because trying to get a group together and hoping that the group meshes pretty well. Because the clan I'm with is mostly a World of Warcraft clan. And that's great, right? They have their game, and I'm just part of their Destiny 2 branch, which I'm totally fine with. And there's nothing wrong with liking one game over another, and plenty of other stuff like that. I need to check my other bounties real quick. Arc weapon, swords against any target, sidearms in a single life, which so far is kind of difficult. But yeah. Overall, if you guys want to do the Vault of Glass raid, I mean, to anyone who's watching the VOD, or, well, no one's watching me stream right now because, hey, I don't stream at my normal hours at this point. Well, you know, normally I stream Saturdays and Sunday mornings, but now it's Wednesday because weekend's coming up and I got, you know, really important stuff to do.
Guardians fighting alongside.
You already said this line. We literally heard it no more than, what, 10 minutes ago?
It's hard to keep track of whose side we're on.
Alright. Start her up again. Ow. So enough of that story. So, let's talk about this coming weekend. Because I have a buddy from college who's coming over. And he and I are going to have a great time. You know, he's going to visit his family that's around in this area, and he needed the couch to crash on. And I'm the kind of guy who, you know, has his own little place. I've got a couch to crash on. You want to stick with me for a bit? Sure. Most of the time, he's probably going to be hanging out with his family because, you know, he hasn't seen them in a year and a half now, solely because of everything that's been happening in the past year or so. And who can blame a guy for, you know, wanting to spend more time with family than he would with a college friend? Oh no. Oh no. No one is coming to help me, are they? Oh no. I have... This is not what I had in mind. You know what? I'm gonna just run. Oh, I can't run. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is the exact opposite of what I want to see happening. Got enough of the finisher? Nope. Alright. Now that I'm up here, I'm just going to do quickly swap. Thanks, guys.
The Vex attempt to lock out the terminal. Destroy countermeasures to keep it operating.
Alright. Where was I? Oh yeah, this coming weekend. So he's gonna spend a lot of time with his family and basically crash on my couch with them, which is totally fine. But hopefully this weekend, provided I'm not too busy. Oh, what kind of fun shenanigans are we gonna get up to? I mean, it's probably not gonna be the crazy shenanigans we got to in, say, high school or even in college. But normally, like, head out to the movies, but there's really no movie that people want to watch. Because last time we got together, it was, I think it was when Rise of Skywalker was out, and that was a movie. I mean, it exists, and I could go on on what I think Star Wars should and should not be and all that, but let's be honest. Let's not get saltier than Crate here. And it was wonderful, you know, hanging out with him, seeing all that stuff. Not going in that portal because I don't have any overloads, mods, whatever. There we go. So I'm trying to think, like, if we were to go out and watch a movie, I have no idea what's even in theaters. Heck, I have no idea if theaters are even a thing anymore. Because it almost seems like anyone ever talks about is on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or stuff like that. And maybe that's just the nature of entertainment changing from we went out to the movies to we're now staying inside. And true, there's, you know, some joy to be had in staying inside and all. Going out to the movies also has and like none of the Marvel movies that I want to watch, you know, for this Arc 4 or whatever they're calling it, Phase 4. Like the ones I want to watch are the Multiverse of Madness. Come to think of it, I think that's it. Maybe Blade.
Facts are converging to shut it down.
But it almost seems like all the movies that I wanted to watch were delayed because of, well, you know, COVID. And like all the things that I really want to do are, you know,
Deal with the Vex, but keep one eye on the terminal.
Oh. I know sometimes he brings his brother along for other stuff, and that's fine. I'm good friends with his brother. We don't talk too much often, but yeah, I probably don't want to get into too much details about everything because, hey, I'm being vague here.
They cannot stop you, but they will still try. The vortex resists manifestation. A final surge of data will force it into being.
Oh, there's a big old abomination. Here we go. Well, that's one thing I should definitely do. Whenever he's over here, I mean, it's not the first time he's ever crashed on my couch, but Normally I make some delicious food, high in calories, because you know what? If we're gonna sit over at my place, you eat good. So I do have in mind, what is it? Vodka pasta? Not necessarily with like pure vodka. No, there's like something they have in the store that's like a pasta sauce, vodka, but there's like no alcohol in it. It's just generic stuff. I enjoy it. No idea if he will. But if it's got something that's even a hint of alcohol, he'll probably take to it.
This is their last attempt to lock you out. The vortex is almost open.
Alright, got the advanced sidearm calibration done. Yeah, we might even go out to a restaurant to eat, which, man, it has been a while since I've ever, like, gone out to eat anywhere. Is no one climbing this? Wow, that is... Okay. Everyone's just busy doing their own thing, I guess. I mean, I have an excuse. I'm trying to fill content for another 5 or so minutes, and then I'll wrap the VOD up.
Sabathun was strong enough to make pawns of the Vex. One wonders how else she might infiltrate our ranks.
You better shut up. Alright. Oh, what they're doing with Lakshmi as a character. Oh, man. Whoa, 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 whoa! Why did I die exactly? I mean, whatever. I'll take that time to do all that. Return to the Splicer servitor in the hell.
Now you see the subjugated mind. Keeper of this domain. Destroy it to secure the data.
Alright, here we go. Last little bit. Oh, and also, oh, that's right, this coming weekend's Father's Day. Like, by the time this video goes out, it will be, you know, behind me. So, what should I do for my dad? Good question. I mean, he's at that point where he basically has everything he wants, and all the stuff that I could give him, I can't, or rather, all the stuff that he wants I can't afford, and all the stuff I can afford to give him, he already has. I mean, I guess I could always just give him more food. Baked baby. Oh yeah, a lot of tributes coming in as well. No one's picking it up? Okay, fine, I'll do it. Not entirely sure what this will do. I think depositing the data spike makes the boss vulnerable.
We are making progress against the Vex, but be careful. Sabathun will be watching.
I suspect she's been watching for quite some time.
She best not watch me. I will spot her like Soraya's board.
Funny, funny, funny. Alright, and I believe that. This, we've got, ooh, ignition code, lead from gold, and demolitionist, compared to an ambitious assassin. Nah, I'd rather have this, thank you. 1310 grid skipper heating up. I think I have one of these in my vault, and I don't really care for that particular role. Oh, relentless strikes and surrounded. Oh, Still not the god roll of Relentless Strikes and Whirlwind Blade, unless they got rid of it. I don't think they have, but I could be wrong. Also, like in Boots, you know, I may as well do this. Because there's going to be more, right? There's always more. Speak with this place. Servitor. All right, here we go. Wrap this up with one little bounty collection. And then I am going to... Arc weapons, sword. I may just grab these off camera. Whoa, I got a lot of these to open. Wild Hunt Hood, Eternal Blazon, Nature of the Beast, Lycan Gloves, and Wild Hunt Vestment. Alright, I don't need you. 53, do I have? Strange, I didn't get a single Iron True Edge hood throughout all of my, Iron Bannering last week. Eternal, ooh. I have a better one. That one I might be able to use as infusion. Ew, 49. Get that out of my face. Disrespectful. Alright. But more importantly, let's go speak with the Servitor and the Mithrax. That and this. Alright, we have 318, 54 to 64. Yeah, well, that. It's not as good as a 319, but whatever. Slide shot, one for all. Ew, no. Don't need you either. And I have a Prime Engram to open as well. I may as well do that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Today's gonna be a good day. I can feel it. This weekend's gonna be a lot of fun. Probably no ukulele stream. That's not something I really need to say because I'm looking at the viewers. There's literally one, which is myself. And I'm recording this for VOD, really, but I have everything up for, you know, in case someone follows or raids me, which is hardly ever happen. Although I do say that, but I do know that 11 days ago I got raided by 26 people in total.
Ah,
all right.
Shall we begin then?
Give me something good to wrap this up, Rahul. Thanks, Rahul. Yeah. Yeah. 62, 72, that'd be up to 84. Yeah. Except that's at the same light level, though. Darn it! Oh! Well, I guess I can put that into here. May as well, because this is actually a somewhat decent roll for crystal green gloves or whatever. So yeah, that, I believe, is going to be it for Week 6 First Impressions. So, thank you all for joining me, for all those who did. If you're watching the VOD, don't forget, like, follow, subscribe, all that nonsense. If you want to follow me live on Twitch when I'm streaming, it's MasterWebbit on Twitch. You can follow me there. Also follow my Twitter at MasterWebbit. That way you get all the latest updates and stuff for when I go live and all that. And until next time, everybody, take care.